Ma'am, is there any particular age when one should plan pregnancy?
Today, the girl is there, wants to work, but it's important for all of them to realize that they have a body clock and the optimum age.
What are the points the husbands should keep in mind?
Smoking is a big no. We don't recommend them to have tight underwears. That also affects the sperms.
So, what are the complications post 35?
That the quality of the eggs tend to go down. Baby may not grow that well. The abortion rate goes up.
For example, in case you get any patients who are little infertile.
I'm very happy when I see a young couple wanting pregnancy.
Welcome to Prega Talks, a podcast where we break myths around women's health and pregnancy. And today we have with us a very eminent personality in the field of medicine. She's a gynecologist and laparoscopic surgeon. She is a Padma Shri awardee and she has remarkably contributed in the field of medicine. And it is such a pleasure to have Dr. Malvika Sabharwal with us here. Very warm welcome, Dr. Sabharwal. And we wish to talk to you about planned pregnancy today. What is it? How do people plan it? And are there any tips that you'd like to advise people? So let's dive in deep into it. So let's talk about planned pregnancy. What is it? What are the tips that you'd like to give? And how does one plan it so that it is healthy?
Oh my God, that's a very, very interesting question. And today, when you look at the census, which was declared just a few months back, it was saying that India's population is going down. So, talking of a healthy pregnancy is something very important. We all must realize it is not only something wherein a progeny should come into this world, but should also be healthy. First and foremost is that the parents should be prepared for it. As a father and mother, you have an important role to be prepared to not only get a child into this world, also to bring up in this society wherein we have a lot of problems. So once you're settled for that and you've decided, then it's your duty to see that you, as a father and a mother, or a wife and a husband, are healthy to get a child into this world. And I would always advise that this young couple should go and visit the doctor. A preconceptual advice is something which is very important.
So, ma'am, is there any particular age when one should decide to plan pregnancy? Or because they say that the later you conceive, the challenging it becomes. So, how true that is?
I think, Swati, that's a very important question again, because one must realize that in today's world, the girls are working. Gone are the days when only the guys were working and they were the ones who were breadwinners. Today, the girl is there, wants to work, wants to establish a career. But it's important for all of them to realize that they have a body clock vis-a-vis the men. The women have a body clock which keeps ticking. And the optimum age, of course, is 20 to 30. By 30 years in today's time, we recommend that every couple should have a child, because that is a time where you can have more healthy eggs, more better outcome. There could be less congenital problems that we see in children. So it's important for them to realize that before the body clock goes on, one should think actively to go on that way, which is not really common, because girls today really want to establish their career, and so do boys.
Right.
And nobody wants to take the responsibility, which eventually they do decide. And by the time they decide that they want, the time has gone by and they've already crossed the limit. They've reached the age of 35, which is normally, we say, that is the time when the fertility or maybe the quality of the eggs, etc., go down. So after the age of 35 is the time where the egg quality goes down, the quantity goes down, there's more risk for abortions, there are other congenital malformations which come into play. So these things have to be kept in mind.
Right. And what is ovulation tracking? And is it really important when you were trying to conceive?
I think it's a wonderful thing to do. But here I would also like to highlight one thing, Swati, that ovulation tracking is important. And it's also important for a couple that once they've decided that now they want to start a pregnancy, there should be no pressures on the husband. Because normally you have a lot of pressures coming from the family. Okay, ab aap bade ho gaye ho, you're getting older, must get a child. So all those peer pressures are there. So that also has a little stress on the young couple. So it's important to have a ovulation tracker But if a girl can do that comfortably, nicely, without getting stressed out, which is the most important thing, you should not let the thing come to your mind or get, get into the brain, oh, I've not got pregnant this month and things like that. So ovulation tracking is something I feel very, very important for every couple because they're busy otherwise. And once they've decided, rather than going further, if they can do a simple kit and you can just do it by yourself, it's a good idea because then everybody is busy, but you can have a timed contact with with your spouse so that the outcome should be better.
Right. Ma'am, as you just mentioned that, sometimes women, they start stressing over it that, oh, I'm not conceiving.
Yes.
So, how can we eliminate the environmental challenges, especially stress in such cases?
One thing very important is that every stress is going to come from outside.
Right.
So it will be whether from a friend or a family or your mother-in-law or your father-in-law, whatever. It's going to be from outside. At whatever age you are, you will have your friends, your school friends getting pregnant and moving ahead. One or two children are already there with them. So the girl is automatically stressed out.
Right.
She says, oh, I have not yet got pregnant. So this is a stress that you have to deal with from inside. Train your mind and do some positive things like maybe I always tell my girls to make sure that you are going for your walks, doing positive things together. You're doing some exercises, you're swimming, you're doing your walking, your yoga, your meditation, and also you internalize yourself by praying. So all these things do help a lot. And considering the kind of life that we have, yet we should take out time for these things. And one must, mindfully have time for each other. I think the onus is a lot. I pay a lot of attention to telling to the young girls that the onus is a lot on the girl because whatever it is, men always want to be macho men, but
Right.
basically they are the ones who are really meek. They get very affected, but they cannot show it.
They will not.
So if you want to put the stress on the husband, okay, now I'm tracking my ovulation, which I'm already saying that you should track, and this is the day to perform. They might just, it may just be not so good. So they feel it's an examination time and stuff like that,
Right.
But ovulation tracking is important and the girl should do it on her own in a great silence and create an atmosphere at home wherein it is full of romance and things like that. And you just pamper your husband a little and have him also in the right mood for
Right.
getting together.
So basically, ovulation tracking is important. And you also mentioned that taking care so that you're not stressed and pampering yourself and each other, that is very important.
Absolutely.
And is there any particular medicines, medications that should be avoided during pregnancy or when you're planning to conceive?
Once you meet your doctor preconceptually, you must make sure that you are fit. That means you're healthy. And for healthy means your basic tests, a simple thing like thyroid. Today, thyroid is included for every young girl as well as a menopausal girl. Why? Because it is known that it is very rampant in society today and we must track it. Thyroid has a direct relationship with the little fetus who is developing right in the first few weeks. Even before you know that you're pregnant, the fetus is already formed. Even you've not missed a period and the baby is already there. So for the brain development of the fetus, it's important to know that the thyroid is okay. The other things are things like rubella. Rubella and varies, chickenpox you know of.
Right.
So these are two things which you must get yourself tested. After COVID, you will understand better because once we got the COVID vaccine, we were testing for the antibodies. Similarly, every girl who's young got a rubella vaccine when she was a baby. But whether she has the antibodies should be checked. You understand? And
Right.
in case the antibodies are not there, it's a very simple, cost-effective, chota sa vaccine hai. You just have to give the vaccine and tell her don't get pregnant for a month. That's all. Similarly for chickenpox, because if a chickenpox or a rubella happens in pregnancy, it can be really having a very bad effects on the pregnant girl. It can affect the fetus. So timely vaccination can be given prior to her starting the pregnancy.
Right.
This is important. And the question that you asked me is what are the drugs you cannot take? Girls are having acne, they're taking medicines for that. It cannot be given. So any medicine that you're taking, whether it's for blood pressure or simple acne, or even for that matter, some anti-epileptic drugs and things like warfarin and all. There are certain drugs which should not be taken in pregnancy because they go through the barrier and reach the fetus and affect them.
So, Dr. Sabharwal, as we are talking about the planned pregnancy, I'm sure not all the cases are similar. Some are a little difficult to deal with. For example, in case you get any patients who are little infertile and they're not able to get pregnant, how do you manage that and how do you deal with that?
Well, that's a very good thing. I'm very happy when I see a young couple wanting pregnancy because it's important for all the young girls to be getting pregnant on time without any stress. Because as the time is going by, she's going to be getting more stressful. So, number one, we explain it to them that if they've been living together for 2 years and having a normal relationship with each other, and then we want to work them up. By work them up means you take a good history, you could do a good pelvic examination to see if there's nothing, something like a very simple infection with a white discharge that may be coming in way of pregnancy. That has to be ruled out. And we explain it to them that we have to look at there's one uterus, two ovaries, and two tubes. Now, the ovary is the one which is going to be giving the eggs one at a time from each side. So, once from the left, then from the right. And then it's picked up from the tube. The tube picks it up, the fertilization is going to happen there. So, we explain the whole process to them, and then we also check them out. We check them out in the sense that we do an ultrasound, we do basic blood tests to rule out any. I've already mentioned earlier that these are the blood tests which are necessary for her to have. So we do the basic blood tests to rule out any other problems and then do a tube test. There was a time when we were doing endometrial biopsy prior to a tube test. Now I'll explain you what is endometrial biopsy. Endometrial biopsy means you are looking at the uterus. It's the uterus which is going to be carrying the baby inside. And it's the tube which is going to be carrying the embryo inside. I hope I'm clear.
Yes.
There's one uterus, two ovaries, two tubes.
Right.
The ovary gives you egg, it gets fertilized in the tube, and then the fetus comes into the uterus and settles there. So you have to check everything. So you do the endometrial biopsy to see if everything is okay for hormones and for tuberculosis, any other infections. You see the tubes to see whether HSG it is called. It's called hysterosalpingography, whether the tubes are patent, and then ovaries also checked by the ultrasound. Now let me tell you the negative part of it. When you do the tube testing, many times the girls are so scared. They're so upset that when they go for it, they cannot get it done. It's as simple as that. So I have to tell them that you must relax yourself and get it done nicely so that false positive, negative nigh.
And what are the preconception tests a lady should consider?
So that's what. So what is this thyroid? Your rubella, your varicella, that is the chicken pox. The blood test is there. Then we also do certain other tests like the blood group, the viral markers of vitamins, things like BDRL, HIV, and blood group, blood sugars, because unknowingly there could be diabetes. So, and also things like HbS for hepatitis C and B. All the tests should be done prior because they anyways are going to be tested for you once you're pregnant. Then another thing very common is in the northern belt of India, we have a lot of people who are thalassemia minor. And it has been our goal not to have any thalassemic major child come into this world. So a mother who is thalassemic minor, her husband has to be tested for thalassemia. So because we don't want the baby to be thalassemic major. So that becomes a very, very important test also.
And ma'am, how important is the overall health of a female while planning pregnancy? And are there any prenatal vitamins that one can start taking? And when should one consider that?
Well, that's a very good thing that you're bringing to light. That every girl and boy, for that, but the health is very important. Especially, we must take our time for our exercises, like I already mentioned. Even simple things like walking at least 30 minutes, 5 times a week are important. And keeping yourself on a healthy diet is extremely important because diet means not the refined sugars and not the, you should not do the fried stuff and you should have not only the refined, like you'll end up ordering for pizzas, fast foods and stuff like that. So this is something which is not really, you should have a healthy diet, which means you have green vegetables, fruits, you take your dals and your wheat and everything in a wholesome manner, not the refined. And then you can have your dalia, your oats, etc., etc. And lean meat is preferred over the red meat. The red meat has got its own values, but we prefer to have lean meats. And your tofu is extremely good. Things like sprouts again, and then beetroots and green leafy vegetables. All these are very important part of taking a healthy diet.
So basically, proteins and antioxidants are very, very important.
Antioxidants are very important, and they're available in your chia seeds, and all those things can be added to your foods. And something like a vitamin, as you asked me, folic acid is something that we start with at a very low dose of 5 milligram a day. We recommend almost like 3 months prior to starting a pregnancy.
Right. So all the focus has been laid on women since, pregnancy is related to them. But what are the points the husbands should keep in mind?
Oh yes, even husbands have to be very fit,
Right.
because even if the husband is a smoker, the wife becomes a passive smoker.
Right.
So this is something very important for both partners. By the way, the husband and wife both are equally involved in this, because smoking and alcoholism is something which we see very, very commonly today. Every girl and boy are having that. So we have to do it in moderation. Smoking is a big no. It's a very big no. And smoking for a girl can eventually land up having a lot of problems with the baby also. So for guys, no smoking, because it immediately affects the sperms. Alcohol only in moderation. A good healthy environment in which he can exercise, be appropriate for his height and weight, should be appropriate for that is very important. And things like, a lot of people are using laptops, and they land up using laptops from the labs, which affects the sperm count also. Especially going in for saunas, hot baths, which are again affecting the sperm counts. This is something very important. And then tight underwears are not, we don't recommend them to have tight underwears. That also affects the sperms. So these are things which we should keep in mind for them.
So, Dr. Sabharwal, how wonderfully you've touched upon all the points. And you also mentioned about the biological clock. So, what are the complications in case the patient that arrives to you is post 35?
Swati, after the age of 35 years, one must realize that the quality of the eggs tend to go down. Not only the quality, even the quantity of eggs go down. The abortion rate goes up, because more and more abnormal eggs are getting formed. And once they get, once she conceives an abnormal egg, she's liable to naturally clean it from the body, and she'll result in an abortion. So the abortions rate do go up. Then at 35, you would expect more and more other problems, things like endometriosis, fibroids, which normally it is the body is made to have a pregnancy by 25 years of age. That is the way it functions. But as we're growing older, we are seeing more and more incidences of fibroids and endometriosis, which again hamper the pregnancy. The happening of pregnancy and also the result of the pregnancy gets affected. So these are a couple of things. And once a girl gets pregnant, I've already touched about abortions. She can have pregnancy is also with other medical problems, like hypertension can come in, diabetes can precipitate in, and baby may not grow that well, because IUGRs are more common in such patients, which are being jeopardized by other issues like medical problems. So the baby will not grow. You'll end up having premature deliveries. You may land up having cesareans, which go up. So these are problems that we face after the age of 35. And sometimes with repeated abortions, the patient is so stressed out that they don't even want to get pregnant subsequently.
And what are the lifestyle changes one can make while planning pregnancy?
See, everybody is working. So, lifestyle, you can just add up a few good things of having more of a family time, more of a things being done together for the partners. So that is something very important, which will go a long way. Because once the baby comes, the mother's going to be getting very busy with the baby. So that the fellowship, the camaraderie between a husband and a wife is very important to develop, and both have to be on the same page to receive the child. So lifestyle has to be. You cannot be partying every day. Of course, before that you may be partying, But once you decided, you must get yourself at least be open to the idea that now is the time that most likely it'll be more of me time, my time, together time, which should be of a good quality, and in which I also encourage them simple things like having board games, etc., doing things, traveling together rather than just diluting yourself with so many other people and so many other things in life, or you land up watching your TV, and things like that. You can see that each person you see now, every person in the room would be just watching the telephone.
Right.
Everybody's on the iPad
Right.
or everybody's on the phone. So the connection goes out, the quality goes down. So when the baby comes, it is going to be further there, and the mother's going to be busy.
Right.
So the time together will be
Okay. So basically, focusing on me time, it's better to focus on our
our
time
time.
together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That-
And something, I have to tell you one thing. So even for the gardener, if you've seen, अगर वो पौधा भी लगाता है ना, one you have to make sure that it's a healthy soil. He checks the soil. He's just a gardener. He checks the soil and he makes sure there's nothing there, and then he plants the seed there. So a girl also has to be very sure that she's healthy, and that's how when the seed gets planted, she's prepared to make
Okay.
sure that the outcome of the baby is going to be good. So
Right.
the baby grows and gets nurtured inside the womb and then comes out in a healthy manner.
Right.
And wherein if she's not smoking, mind you, we tell them to stop smoking in case she's a smoker, at least 3 to 6 months in advance from starting the pregnancy. It does affect, and take lots of antioxidants.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sabharwal. I think that was really, really very helpful. And how simply you explained taking care of your health and foods to be considered, tests to be considered, and things to be avoided, and, taking care of each other. Really, really, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's all for today, where we spoke in detail about preparation on planned pregnancy. Thank you for tuning in. Until the next episode, keep smiling, take care, and stay aware. And hope your family planning happens smoothly.